We're live. Welcome to the live broadcast of this boys volleyball senior night for RBHS. Currently, we're finishing up or starting up, should I say, the second set of the junior varsity game for the Bulldogs against Fenton. Right there, we have Jesus Jimenez on camera, former libero for the Riverside Bulldogs. Now, currently, Jesus is a backup libero and defensive player for the most part. A great game here for you. Devin Shranoff getting very heated on the court after a brilliant save. Yeah, right now it's just time.
You want to put this behind you?
I'm very locked. Early timeout for the Bulldogs. They're down 1-8. It's looking like a rough start. Just to give you a quick rundown. Ops means OPP means opposite side, opposite hitter. RS is right side hitter. OH is outside hitter.
DS is defensive specialist. L is for libero. MH is for middle hitter. And then S is for setter. And these are the actual player numbers. Volleyball doesn't do like crazy big gaps in numbers like football and basketball. They do one or two at most. Yeah. What the heck are you doing, RJ? RJ, don't kick the volleyballs that way. They roll into the net for a reason. They roll into the net for a reason. To be over here. Don't kick them any which way. Let me see the pivot by RJ. Serve the Austin. Sure not recovered. Set by Lopez on the other side. TJ, you good?
Eastus Bulldogs down 9, 11 to 20. With a quick float to the back, caught by the left, set to the center to the right side. It's a net call. Point for the Bulldogs. Ruiz up to set again. Serve again. My apologies. Quick float to the middle. Caught. Set to the outside. Out. Jeez, Amy, don't get on my broadcast. RJ?
Bulldogs serve it in, and it's going to be point for
I
Fenton.
don't know where RJ is. Where is he?
RB narrowly lost the first set, taking a beating here in the second. Down 21 to 13.
Upstairs, that's RJ's over there. So he's getting another stool.
Fenton serve returned by the Bulldogs, and the spike by RB is blocked. And then Fenton's shot goes into the net, point for RB.
Don't get him my shot, Leo.
RB serve, returned by Fenton. Bulldogs send it back. Fenton gathers and sends it over. RB sets up a shot, and it's tipped back. Diving save. The Bulldogs knock it over. Fenton sending it back. And a mistake by Ruiz. Point for Fenton.
Yeah. Did John tell you? The stream says
It's fixed. Don't worry about it.
All right, Fenton up for another serve. Serve to Mitch. Copper Ruiz straight out for the set to the right side hitter. Received. Set to the outside, set over the net. Set to the outside. And that's in for Michael Austin for the Bulldogs. Point for Bulldogs. Current score 15-23 Fenton.
RB's going to need to get more shots like that, as they haven't been able to generate a lot of power up front. That's why Fenton has such a lead here in this second set.
Straight out for the set. Very rare you see a libero up to serve. Float right to the outside. It's received, set to the outside. Net call. Went for Bulldogs, 16-23. Straight out for the serve once more. Each point here is pivotal for the Bulldogs. Set right to the libero. High bump to the middle and bumped over the net again. Now receives it, set to the right outside. And Michael Austin hitting it into the blockers, who then send it back to their side. Point for Bulldogs.
Fenton takes a timeout here. That's exactly what RB needs if they want to get back into this set here. Down 0-1 in the game.
Well, some might argue it would kill their momentum, as RB desperately needs an 8-point comeback to stay alive as they stay in the second set, down 1. You might be able to hear in the background as the RB varsity players begin practicing and warming up for their upcoming match against Varsity Fenton. Ranked 132 in the state and 127 in the Chicagoland area. Fenton should be a relatively easy win for the Bulldogs, ranked 63rd in the state and ranked 61st in the Chicagoland area.
It's a big matchup for RB tonight. It's their senior night, and a win here could be the turning point in their season as they sit at 13-10.
It'll definitely be a big win for the Bulldogs. As Fenton sends the ball back over the net. They can score 17-24. Bulldogs need, what is that, 7 sequential points to tie up for a deuce.
Set point here for the Bison.
Match point, realistically.
Yeah,
Receive
match
by
point.
Schumerman. Set by Ruiz. Austin hits it over the net. Sent back over the net. Receive by Chernow again. Set by Ruiz. Back to Austin who hits it out.
Austin hits it long, and that's going to be the game.
That's going to be the game. Match point.
RB had a good shot to win the first set and didn't really look put together in the second, so Fenn gets a well-deserved victory.
Well, Aaron, junior varsity team is definitely going to walk away with this. Heads down, running shoes on for practice tomorrow, and a lot to learn from this game.
Absolutely.
See a lot of back and forth in their future. A lot of defensive plays, as that's what I felt. RB was definitely lacking this game from the junior varsity team.
100%.
Some of the reserves from Gavin Chernow. Junior varsity team is going to receive the equivalent to a talking to.
Yeah.
Definitely noticeable by the crowd.
JV.
Bit of
for
a
the
public
Bulldogs.
outburst almost.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate to see as the junior varsity team is definitely going to be receiving some criticism tonight.
Yeah, a lot of emotions from coaching staff. Not happy with the result.
Not happy at all. You can't really blame them. On paper, this was a cinch for the RB team,
Yeah.
and it just didn't turn out that way.
They
Could
were
be a
in
lot of
control of the
factors.
first.
They were down Aiden Sheff for a lot of the first set, still injured.
Yeah.
Aiden was probably reserving himself for some play time for the upcoming varsity game, where he will hopefully play pretty soon. On the side.
Still, though, you can see the momentum slipping after RB kind of choked away that first set. And fortunate result for the Bulldogs here tonight.
You can see the Fenton team preparing for their upcoming match against RB as well. A little bit of warming up on the side, a little bit of chit chat, a little bit of congratulations going all around, a couple pats on the back, most well deserved for the Fenton junior varsity team. The varsity team needs to make sure that their next game is on point and that they are ready to go, because RB will be no easy game for them. Anyways, we're going to wrap it up right now, giving the seniors the time to get their senior night set up. And we now enter RB senior night. Have a good one. All right.
Does he not know? Does he not know? We're going to cut off air real quick and then pop back on.
We're going to go off live for like a second and go right back on.
And we're going to intro.
See you guys in a second. Welcome back to the broadcast as we're introducing our seniors for their senior night. First up, we had RBTV's own Liam Cohane brought up with his parents. Next up, we have Cole Rubio being brought up with his parents. Cole is actually committing D2 for volleyball, as he continues to pursue that in college. The next senior who we have up next is James Long, brought up with his parents. He will be heading to You guys are going to the five. Next up, we have Jack Shabel.
Lots of applause from his teammates and the RB fans.
Shabel's a very great man. He's a great guy. Not a single one. Jesus Jimenez, defensive specialist and libero for Riverside Brookfield, committed to Indiana University in Bloomington. Known for RB football and Riverside Brookfield volleyball. Right up with his parents. Number 16, Nicholas Rivera. Next up, Nick Rivera, fan favorite as well. Right up with his parents. He is most known for his football career, as he played for RB all 4 years. New to the volleyball team for Varsity. He previously played on the volleyball team in his freshman year for the freshman team. He's right with his parents, as I said, and he'll be going to University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. We have Alec Otragi. Right up with his parents. He will be heading off to UIC. Last but certainly not least, we have Thomas Yeager, TJ Austin. Big time fan favorite, playing all 4 years. He is recently heading into the role of libero for the Bulldogs. And overall great man. Chaika organizing the players against the Nets. It's a big day for all these gentlemen.
Absolutely, a lot of heartfelt photos to be taken.
Careers.
Absolutely. As the senior night festivities wrap up here and we get into the game action, I'd like to introduce our broadcast. I'm Dakota McGonigal, and this is...
We're here to bring you RVHS's Volleyball Senior Night, brought to you by RBTV. And here at the night, you can see Liam Cohane and John Franco as they prepare, the two main setters for Riverside Brookfield, as they prepare to get ready.
Taking a look at some of RB's big hitters, Jack Scheibel leads the Bulldogs in kills per set with 1.7 a set. Alec Aldridge leading RB in hit percentage with 0.269. And Nicholas Rivera leads RB in blocks with 49. Should be an exciting matchup here, folks.
Nicholas Rivera at a staggering 6'5". He's definitely been a big part of the RB defense in his tenure here on the volleyball team. It's amazing to see such a new player become a pivotal player for the team.
100%.
So obviously, as we get warming up, we have Jack Shable and Cole Rubio peppering to each other. Common practice workout for the players. We have Nick Rivera and John Bieler-Bradick doing the same. Michael Austin and Noah Beals also peppering. A lot of peppering here, but that's how you get all the best actions. You get a set in, you get some downwards hits, you get some spikes, and you get some bumps. And it's a great way to practice all that hand-eye coordination, and along with that trust in your teammates, that unspoken communication that you have to have in order to have that synergy in a game that leads to such powerful attacks that Jack Shable and Cole Rubio are known for.
100%. Bulldogs been training their 4-year tenure here at RB for a moment like this, and you can see the skill in the pregame warm-ups.
It's really starting to shine through how much effort these guys put into the game every day, just in these warm-up practices alone. You see how well they pepper each other, how much they're used to practicing together, and you see that 4 years of friendship and camaraderie really just shining through even just in practice. And I'm sure we'll see much more of that in the game to come. We enter the senior night.
While we have some time here, let's take a look at the Bulldogs' opponents for tonight of Fenton Bison. Now, Fenton might not be ranked as high as RB or has as good a record as RB, but they certainly light it up on the stat short. Daniel Garfias leads Fenton with 2.7 blocks per set. Hit percentage, Adam Trizak leads them with a 0.217. And Rene Rivera leads them with 178 digs. And then Daniel Garfias again leads them with a staggering 165 kills.
It's truly amazing to see how
100%. Even though it is RB's senior night, we still need to recognize the immense talent coming from Fenton into this game.
Tim will be wearing the white and black.
Yeah, I think black.
They'll be wearing the white and black. And RB will be wearing their dominant blue and white. But, both teams practicing very hard. And not home court advantage, And we have Bulldogs heading over to their side of the court. They'll be practicing receiving serves for various players. James Long up to serve.
Yes, these full court warm-ups for RB, very integral to getting in the flow of things, getting ready to get some powerful shots across. Fenton will get their full court warm-ups about 5.5 minutes after RB finishes up.
Mario practicing that topper, it's truly amazing how hard he can hit. You can see why he's going D2 for volleyball. It's
100%.
True powerful serves that get him the aces that he has. You can see the Bulldogs practicing hitting lines as John Krankich goes up for the sets, setting back to the setting both all to the outside, middle, and right side hitters respectively. And you see just how refined all their form is. Not a great time for Nick Rivera to miss the sit, but you know. Got Liam Cohane hitting that right side hit. You don't see him hitting as much as he's the main setter for the Bulldogs, but when he hits, his presence is surely felt as all of his spikes are lethal to unknown attackers.
100%. Cohane leading RB in assists with 201. Definitely the main setting force here for the Bulldogs.
RBTV. No, that's the Bulldog. That's the third one. Bulldogs are currently reeling off of a tournament that took place over the weekend at the Lincoln Way East Invite, where they went 2-3 for matches. I'm sure it's a difficult tournament, a lot of good teams, and it just shows that they need a good win to come back and really just like make all the effort and practice worth it. Despite their winning career, a loss at a tournament like that it's still you still feel it on the soul as a player, and I'm sure that the Bulldogs here are here have something to prove, both to themselves and to the other team.
If we look at the Upstate 8 conference standings for RB and Fenton sitting in 5th, 1-2 in conference play, and RB needing a win tonight to try and contend for that conference title, try and knock Glenbard East off the top spot. So they sit in 2nd place at 2-1. It's an important game for both teams, and
doubly important for the Bulldogs, as it is their senior night. We can't stress that enough.
100%.
Right now we have Fenton on the court, getting ready, getting loose, getting warm,
Yeah.
as they have 5.5 minutes on the clock.
Especially for RB trying to contend into conference play. It's a big game for them.
It's a great game for them. It should be. We got Fenton. No reporter bias, but it seems that they could use a little bit of that synergy that we were talking about earlier that the Bulldogs had. Some of their spikes seem to be coming a little, you know, not as reformed. Here you can see. See some familiar faces from the Fenton team. Number 12, Michael Rona, currently setting for the hitting lines. As we have up next, number 1, junior Marcus Dudesque, absolute powerhouse for Fenton. Opposite hitter, right side hitter, and outside hitter. He is going to be very important. The Bulldogs should definitely keep an eye out for him as they enter this match against Fenton. And on the middle here, we have Rafal Wanda Cowitz, middle hitter, junior, just staggering height, appears to be 6'2". He's certainly going to be a defensive nightmare for the Bulldogs.
As we look at the historical impact of what RB winning a conference would be this year, the Bulldogs only have 2 conference titles in their team's history, 2016 and 2017. RB has a very, very dominant women's volleyball program. They won this season, obviously. Have many star players like Diana Rittick, but for the Bulldogs, not much success since those 2016 and 17 years, and winning a conference will be big for the motivation and the growth of this program.
Definitely 100%. But, Fenton, I'm hoping the Bulldogs, even though on paper it's a pretty easy win for them, Bulldogs should still be on the lookout for Fenton. A lot of great players, such as number 11, Daniel Garfias, outside hitter for Fenton, 165 kills this season alone, 2.7 kills per set, with a kill percentage of 30.6.
100% Garfias.
Leading the Fenton team. He's certainly going to be going for a lot of maybe some high-risk plays, also some high-reward plays that the Bulldogs would be Michael Austin, or TJ Austin, and Michael Austin if he wants to. TJ Austin and Jesus Jimenez need to be on the lookout for as the team's defensive specialist and liberos.
100% Garfias being the top threat here for the Bison and Fenton. He could be a difference maker in this game.
But Garfias is the only player that the Bulldogs need to look out for. As you can see, we have Nathan Urian. I hope I'm not butchering that. Again, I'm sorry. Some of these names I might be butchering. And if so, I apologize to the players and I apologize to their families. I'm of Latin origin, so I'll be trying to say it as I see it. But still, Yarion, 117 kills this season for Fenton. 1.6 kills per set and a 42% kill average. He's definitely going to be a player that Castillo and Valda Oliver, the Fenton setters, will be setting to, and he's definitely a player that the Bulldogs will have to be wary of, as his serves or his spikes are obviously very deadly if left unattended, and possibly lethal to the game if left unattended for too long. So again, TJ Austin and Jesus Jimenez. I'm so sorry. I'm just thinking of the junior varsity team. TJ Austin and Jesus Jimenez will definitely need to be on the lookout for that. And along with the middle blockers and middle hitters for RB, Nick Rivera and Alec Otragi, specifically in mind, as they're the 2 tallest members of the RB team.
Absolutely. We also can't forget about Adam Triziak. I think I'm saying that correctly. Number 5 for Fenton. He led the team with 22 blocks so far this season and leads them in hits per set. So he's definitely a defensive and an offensive force to look out. Possibly another X factor for the Bison as we're getting started in a few moments.
National anthem we can play here. The Bulldogs. Anthem.
And what an emotional moment for the Bulldogs as you can see the entire RB team singing along.
It's a beautiful song, and they sung it very beautifully, especially towards the end.
Now we have our player introductions.
Opposite hitter, right side hitter, and really going to be a powerhouse that the Bulldogs. For the Bulldogs, number 7, Jesus Jimenez, starting as the libero. This will be a TJ Austin. Going as a backup. Player to look out for sure. We have Cohen RBTV royalty over there.
100%.
Jack Shabel. I just can't help but have a big smile on my face when these guys come on the court.
Absolutely. Bulldogs very fired up for this one.
outfit, getting nice and low for their circle, for their huddle. Nice and low, nice and tall, nice and loud. As after this game hyper, we see Cole Rubio, Liam Cohan, Jack Shable, James Long, and Nick Rivera, and Alec Otraga staying on the court for the Bulldogs. And for Fenton, Marcus Dusek, and very first serve of the senior night. Nice little float to the middle, set to the center, hit from the right side, and that's good.
You see Fenton coming out real locked in today, very angry.
Hey, topper. Oh, that's going to be out. That's going to be out. Almost taking our cameraman. Let the Bulldogs celebrate that. And Liam Cohan up for the serve. Liam Cohan, man, he's RB rotate. I'm so happy to get to see him on the court. Even though he is a center. Side, and that's going to be out with a point for the Bulldogs. And you see number 11, Daniel Garfias, when I hit that one out. He's taking that. He's taking on. That corner completely open. But I set to number 3, the last guard, and then number 1 hit. That's gonna be a set dump from James Long. Another point for the Bulldogs.
If you're an RB fan, you got to be very happy with what you're seeing so far. Fenton got that early point, but the Bulldogs responding here in their senior night.
Very fast, very amazing. Liam coming up for another point. Jump float. He's just receiving that Liam Cohan to the middle. And that's a net to Alec Otragi. It seems like Cohan said that just a little low. Like I said, Rennie Rivera, we said setter for libero for Fenton, a name to look out for as he's been. That's a jump float. Liam Cohan, Nick Rivera on the receive. Cohan for the set. Seems to be another jump float. Jack Shable. Serving for the Bulldogs.
Getting very involved here.
Jack Shable's he's a great player. Effortless in his movements. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a jump floater from him as well. Quick little jump float receive by Rivera. Set, and then the desk. Received by Rubio. Set by Cohan to James Long. Defensive received that. And blocked by Otragi and Long.
Big block by Bedragian. Gets this place fired up. RB bench getting heavily involved here.
RB bench, they're just enjoying the game, man. It's the love of it. Show another quick little float. Received by Rivera. Set by Dudest. And I see that there was some sort of net touch.
Energy, definitely, I mean, as you would expect, picking up from the JV game we had earlier.
It's radiating from the bench. Jab up for another quick jump floats. Received by Urian. And that's when he's set. There's hit by number 5, Adam Treziak. But unfortunately, he hits that out from the middle. That's going to be out for the Bulldogs. 7-3 Bulldogs. Jab will off the serve. Received by Rivera. Set by Rania. And that's going to be a hit for Dudesk. Received by Cohan. Set to Cole Rubio. That's going to be a block, even though it was hit out of bounds. Blockers on Fenton touched that one, so that's going to be a point for the Bulldogs, 8-3. Shibble up again for the serve. Like I said, look out for Rivera. He's been getting a lot of these receives. Unfortunately, not that one. As a line ace puts Bulldogs at triple the Fenton points, 9-3. Fenton uses a needed timeout to stop the Bulldog momentum.
Absolutely.
Shable just fire.
Bison got to stop the bleeding here early. RB dominating in front of the net. Couple blocks, couple hard kills there.
If this pace keeps up for the Bulldogs, it is not going to be a very long broadcast. And these gentlemen are going to have to go home happy with.
Absolutely. Fenton needs to pick up the momentum here.
Beyond the court, the Bulldogs are just radiating energy.
Absolutely.
Dribble up again for the serve. Receive, set to the outside. Received by Jimenez. Ooh, that's just gonna be an unfortunate carry by Jimenez. That's gonna get a point for Fenton. Treziak up for the serve. Right to Jimenez. Cohen up for the set. That's going to try hitting it over. Unfortunately, it was received by Fenton. Shable ready for that dig. And unfortunately,
I gotta give
that was
Fenton the point there.
the block by Otragi hit it out. It's unfortunate to see sometimes, but you know, the Bulldogs just got to keep it rolling. Once again, Urian up for the serve. Quick little jump float. Jimenez up for the receive again. Cohen gets it from Jimenez. Sets it to Long, who hits it to the unsuspecting receiver. Point for the Bulldogs, 10-5. TJ Austin going in for Jesus Jimenez. Nick Rivera going in for Alec Otragi.
It was a great kill by James Long there.
It's a great kill.
Get the momentum back.
Austin with the serve. And unfortunately, just completely found a weak spot in the Fenton defense and managed to get a service ace off of Fenton for their mistake.
Yeah, we can see that. Every time Fenton gets on a little run here, RB responding, killing more of their morale.
Austin up again for the serve. Serves it to the outside. Sent over the net by Libero Rivera. Cohen for the set. Hits to Rubio. Hits it right into the block. And gets that out of bounds. Rich at the Fenton bench. That's going to be 4 for RB, 12-5. Austin up again for the serve. Austin for the serve. Sends it to number 6, Urion. Receiver number 12, Warna. And that's be hit by number 6 again, Urion. Unfortunately, barely out. Another point for the Bulldogs, 13-5. With Austin for the serve. It's just great to see. The Bulldogs just gaining so much momentum so quickly, and Fenton not being able to really respond to it. Serve to Urion. Again, that's going to be a low receive. For Rona receiving that. Sets a long hit into the block who hits it out. And I just, like, RB is making the plays too fast, man. I can barely keep up. I can't keep up.
100%. I mean, you blinked, and it's a 9-point advantage for the Bulldogs. They got all the momentum right now, and Fenton needs to find a way to respond. They looked real locked in the warm-ups, but RB has pulled them apart both mentally and on the court physically.
Kill the Bulldog advantage, rethink their strategy. But it was unsuccessful in the past, and I doubt it'll be successful right now. As we see the Bulldog.
We definitely could. I mean, if you're Fenton right now, you gotta amp up that aggression because RB's just firing the balls into Fenton's blockers, and look at the result.
Austin up again for the serve. And he's just been dominating and killing it on the court. It's been great to see. And you just see the Bulldog morale. It's just unshaken and unwithering. Austin for the receive. Sends it to Urian. Sends it to Warzak. And then blocked by Long and Rivera. Point for Bulldogs and making a 10-point lead. 15-5 Bulldogs. And you just see that TJ's Austin just saying to the same, serving to the same spot, and the Fenton just can't come up with a better option. Sets to Rivera, sees it, gives it to Rona, hit by Dudasek, and unfortunately hits it right into the RB blockers, who were not expecting it to be hit to them, and out by the Bulldogs, 15-6. Now, at least Dudesk up for the serve.
What can Fenton do here, trying to get back into this deficit?
Serve to Shable, gives it to Cohen, and Cohen sets to Rivera. Rivera just, Nick just need to control that angle. Hits it really nice, really hard, but it was too high. Out by RB, 15-7 for Bulldogs.
That goes into the net, kind of kills some of Fenton's momentum. They needed to capitalize there. So the lead goes back up to 9.
James Long up for the serve. Get a little jump float. Ooh, unfortunately just barely out. Has to be out by Bulldogs. Fenton subs out. Number 6, Nathan Urion subs in Andrew Velasquez. And you see him up for the serve. Not often you see defensive specialists and libero up for the serve, but you know. He floats it to Austin. Gives it to Cohen. And Rubio spikes it right onto the line, giving Bulldogs a point, 17-8 Bulldogs. You see Rubio kind of happy about that one. Rubio up for the serve. You see a jump top from Rubio. And that's going to be a service ace.
What an ace.
It's
So you can just feel the energy in the air. The lead is 10 for the Bulldogs.
18-8. And it looks like this set is going to be over before it really even began for Fenton.
Absolutely.
Another jump top for Rubio. Right to Rivera. Gives it to Rona. You see number 18, Rafael Wandowskis out. As floater received by Austin. Set by Cohen. Unfortunately out again by Rivera. As I said, he's a new player to RB. He's hitting it well. He's receiving it well. He just needs to make sure that his spikes are inside and on point. Served by Rivera. Received by Rubio. Set by Cohen. To outside hitter Shable. Hits it right on the line, even though it was touched by blockers. And we have point for the Bulldogs as Alec Otragi comes back in for Nick Rivera. Nick Rivera's getting a little bit of PT in on his senior night. Seems that he's going to be running some precision drills when he comes back tomorrow. Served by Jimenez. Received by Treziak. Set by attempted setter dump by number 11. But Liam Cohen right back there. He's seen that move 100 times over. And he knows exactly how to respond to that with a setter dump of his own. You see
Cohen can be dangerous here.
Jimenez back up. See by number 4, by number 3, Andrew Velasquez. That's going to be an out hit by number 11, Daniel Garfias. And that's a point for the Bulldogs, 21-10 Bulldogs. Yusuf Jimenez up first serve. Received by Velasquez. Blocked by Shable. Up by Cohen, set by Long, and hit by Shable. Blockers get that chance ball for Fenton. And then set by Long to Cohen. Cohen to Rubio. Hits it off the blocker's hand. Big spike by Rubio. Increases lead 22-10 Bulldogs. Now Rubio's just feeling good about that one. You can see it on him.
Rubio from center court put a lot of power on that one.
Jimenez straight to Velasquez. Set by Rosiak.
And the Bulldogs just keep pouring it on. The lead's now 13. Crowd's fired up here.
And Shable and Otragi are just lethal blockers. Both of them great vertical, great height. And it's just crazy to see. Received by Velasquez for Fenton. Hit from number 11, Garfias. Spike for Cohen, or for Shape, set by Cohen to Shable.
The set point now is every time Fenton sends that ball over, you just see 3 or 4 big bodies for the Bulldogs come flying in, and it doesn't really look like the Bison have a chance.
I'm sorry.
Jimenez shanks the serve there a little bit.
Jimenez almost murdering his teammate Jack Shable. You see his serve by Rona. Stop by Cohen to Otragi. And Fenton barely gets that up. Received by Rubio. Set by Cohen to Jimenez. Set to Shable. And that's going to be set
And
point for the
Shable
Bulldogs.
takes the set for RB.
Shable with a high spike. And Shable is just radiating happiness, even though he recently had an attempted murder against him by Jesus Jimenez. But Bulldogs will be taking it well.
Nonetheless, the Bulldogs do win the set, 25-11.
It's crazy. Like I said, on paper, the Bulldogs killed, but if they didn't keep the mental and they didn't keep the performance up, they would get dominated by Fenton. It seems that they did just the opposite, just what I said they need to do, keeping that morale, keeping that performance up, just absolutely slaughtering Fenton on the court.
100%. I mean, Fenton, in the early parts of that set, kept it close a little bit, but RB just pulled away quickly and aggressively, and that's what they needed to do, being the more talented team here. And if they do this in the second set, should be a very quick match.
You just see the RB student section, not quite filled up, but still a lot of support here for the players. As you see, just big heads all around. You see a big head of Otragi, you see a big head of Cohen, you see a big head of Rivera somewhere in there. It's nice. It's nice to see all the support and all the happiness radiating off both the players and the crowd.
Absolutely, it is. As Bulldog fans certainly happy with that first set performance.
See the huddle right now, as the lineup for the next set appears to be Rivera, Austin, Quinn Shipley, Noah Beals, Alec Otragi. Same lineup, but you see a couple of the more junior players probably going to be entering the second set, as the seniors definitely had their spotlight in the first set for their senior night. And right now, I think the Bulldogs might just be wanting to give Fenton, maybe they want to give Fenton a fighting chance, maybe they want to give him a more fair game. Maybe they want to prolong this game for the seniors. Whatever Von Rodriguez's reasoning is, I have a feeling that juniors might be taking a little bit more of a stance here in the second set.
Well, being this one of the last games for RB, I mean, you would think the motivation would be trying to incorporate some younger players, especially in a game like this where you're just clearly dominating. I mean, if you're Fenton, I don't know what you do to try and come back in this one, because from a physical size and talent perspective, RB is dominated.
And it seems that Fenton is just trying to keep morale up. It seems like the coach, this is Kasia Brown, just really trying to hammer home to the players to keep their technique up, and eventually RB will make a slip up that Fenton needs to win the second set. But I doubt that RB is going to give it to them willingly, if at all. Jack Shable, TJ Austin ready to step in as libero, James Long and Cole Rubio.
Austin had a great first set and looking to continue his momentum here. Same with Cohen. Both of them really dominant forces for the Bulldogs against Fenton so far.
TJ Austin going in for Otragi. Something you will see very commonly in volleyball is that the libero subs in for other players. Quite frequently, as libero cannot be on the front. And Otragi being a dominant front player just makes sense to have Austin sub in for him. We have Shable setting that. To Cohen, sets it right back to Shable. You see by the blockers of RB. Unfortunately, Cohen blocking it out. Point for Fenton, leading the second set 1-0. But I doubt RB is going to keep it that way for very long, as it's now their ball game once they receive it. Austin receiving that for the Bulldogs. Set by Cohen to Rivera. Very light tap of a spike. Receive by Rivera again from Fenton. Cohen to the outside hit by Shable. Receives beautifully. Rivera setting it up to number 11, Daniel Garfias. And fortunately, tough to receive by Rivera, just spiking it directly into those middle blockers. That's going to be 0-2, Fenton.
Yeah, Fenton's starting to get a little bit of momentum here on that set. Their bench getting a little excited here.
Served by number 12, Michael Ronya. Received by Shable to Cohen. Back to Rivera. Just out again by Rivera. And he's taking these losses pretty hard.
Shots not dropping for the Bulldogs in the second set, and Fenton got some momentum.
Ronya again up for the serve, but I think again, Bulldogs know they have a lot of breathing room here. With a set under their belt and obvious ways of gaining back momentum.
Beautiful shot from Cohen, have to say.
As we know, Tragi going in for Rivera. And a lot of these games are starting to become learning opportunities for Rivera as he starts to become a more outside player. Austin up for the serve, and just short, hitting the net.
Fenton away student section, getting some energy involved.
That's me, Velazquez going out, and Leonardo Yador coming in. Right side hitter and middle side hitter for Fenton. That's me, a jump top for number 11, Garfias. And Otragi spiking it over for the kill for RB, 2-4 RB. See Liam Cohen up for the serve. Cohen, we've known he's a dangerous serve, and honestly, I'm excited to see how far he can take the Bulldogs. Receiver number 6, Urion. That's going to be a kill by Otragi for the block.
See Otragi for RB getting some of that momentum back, quieting down Fenton.
Going from the serve. Received by Yador. Then set up by Rivera. And that's going to be received by Austin for RB. Cohen sets too long, barely couldn't get it. Sets it over to Fenton. Received by Rubio. Cohen up. And Shable for the spot. Received by Fenton. They're reacting much faster than they used to be.
That possession just looked pretty poor from Fenton. Whole defense looked in chaos. Cohen got a near ace there, and then RB able to finish it off.
Fortunately, Fenton just doing themselves in. Adam Truziak just needs a little more warm-up time, it seemed, as that spike was completely out. Going up again for the serve. Received by Urion. Set by Dudesk.
Big block from James Long there.
As the spike from Truziak just wasn't enough. Logan Otragi just there to block it every single time as the Bulldogs take the lead 5-4. The Bulldog bench getting active, getting loose, getting happy. Cohen up again for the spike. Serve, my apologies. Received by Truziak. Over by Rivera. Up by Shable. Set by Cohen to Otragi. Received by Rivera. And unfortunately, Fenton just couldn't get it. Rona's just set. Rona set to Truziak, and Truziak just couldn't make it in time.
This is something Fenton needed to avoid it. They got that advantage. Can't have RB get back involved, and now the Bulldogs 2-point lead.
And just have that momentum. That's going to be received by Yerion. Set by Rona, and then hit by Dudesk, received by the Bulldogs. Cohen setting to Shable. Shable spike, relying, hoping for that a blocker would touch that. But unfortunately, blockers got, hands down. They just couldn't do it. Tries to be sibling something to his teammates. Set by Yerion, received by Rubio. Set by Cohen to Rivera. Barely gets that. It seems Austin and Rubio just couldn't agree as to whose ball that was, and they both didn't react in time.
Fenton needed to tie it up there, stop some of the bleeding. Look to take an advantage here.
It's going to be Truziak serve. Sends it to Rivera, received beautifully. Set by Cohen. Gets it to Shable.
Shable having a great game so far.
Shable is a great player for the Bulldogs. He's just do great things. Serve, little floater, receive. Shibble receives it again. Unfortunately, fouled by the Bulldogs. A point for Fenton. As we see Dudesk up for the spike, up for the serve. Received by Rivera, set by Cohen to Rivera. Hits it right to the blockers. Received by Dudesk. Set by Rona. And that's going to be out. Out by number 6, Nathan Urion. Can't seem to catch a break today, that man. Jimenez up for the serve. Service ace for Jesus Jimenez, as Nathan Urion just couldn't get underneath that ball fast enough. He's up again for another serve. And Fenton almost hitting that out. Beautiful receive by RB, set by Shable to Rubio. Hits it right into Rona, who just hits it, couldn't recover it well, gets it right outside, and RB gets that point, 3-point lead, 10-7 RB. Jesus Jimenez up again for the serve. Serving it. Just an unfortunate float by Jimenez, serves it out.
See, Jimenez just kind of carried that a little bit.
And we see Velasquez going in for Yarian as Fenton gets back to libero and hopefully can recover some points here. Velasquez up to serve. A little nervous. You can see those nerves jumping out of him. Right to Rubio. Up by Cohen. Over by Navarra. And set to number 11, Daniel Garfias, and just found the hole in the RB defense.
Absolutely. I mean, Garfias, star player for Fenton, and they're going to need more from him if they want to contend with the Bulldogs in this set and in this match in general.
The serve up by Velasquez. Received by Shable to Cohen. Cohen to Long, and it's out on Long. Touching the net, unfortunately.
Long just not able to get over the top of those blockers for Fenton, and they've tied it up at 10.
Velasquez up for the serve. So it's a Shable to Cohen. Cohen up to Rivera. That's going to be a net touch by Rivera. As I said, that form just needs a little bit more refinement. We were talking to the RB team, letting them know that just because they won the first set, they cannot expect to win the second without any good hard work. Velasquez up to the serve, sets it to Jesus Jimenez, passes up to Cohen. Cohen to Rubio, and Fenton, number 3, Velasquez, just couldn't receive that well. Gets it out on Fenton.
Rubio with a thunderous kill there, stopping Fenton's momentum.
11-11 for Bulldogs. James Long, number 11, serves right to Rivera. Set by number 12, Rona. That's be a net touch by Fenton. Bulldogs points, 12-11. James Long up for the serve. Got by Velasquez. Set by Rona. That's going to be a point for Fenton, as Rubio just couldn't receive it well enough.
Yeah, Rubio unable to handle that ball, and that's a free point for Fenton there.
And
RB needs to be more locked in. They want to get the sweep here.
Rene Rivera up for the serve. Right to Shable. Gives it right to Cohen. Cohen to Rubio. And unfortunately, it's going to be a net touch and a missed spike by Rubio. It's going to be a point for Fenton. As Fenton is quickly biting back at the Bulldogs for losing that first set. And Fenton's got something to prove here, and they want to destroy that Bulldog momentum before it gets too much. Serve received by Shable to Cohen. Hit by Long, received by Rivera. Up by Rivera by B. That's going to be Shable, spiking it right to Dudesk. Up. That's going to be Rubio. Spike way off by Rubio.
You can see that Fenton student section, they do travel very well, getting involved here.
And it seems that the Fenton team was adapting to RB, and they've now started to get used almost to their attacking pattern.
Absolutely.
As we get into the middle of the second set.
They
12.
did what we said that they needed to do, which is up that physicality and up that aggression. They've certainly benefited from doing so with the 2-point lead here.
We have Bonarigo making sure that the RB team knows what mistakes they're making, the tiny little improvements that they can make to fix them, and how much this win would help them in total. RB team, as long as they're receptive enough and in a good enough mood, they can fix them, I'm sure. And I hope to see that as we enter the latter half of the second set. We have a serve up by service, ready for Rivera. Serves it up, floats to Shable, set by Cohen to Rubio. That's gonna be a light block, received by Dudesk. That's gonna be a second touch spike by Treziak, and Rubio just couldn't get there in time.
Treziak, another star player for Fenton, getting involved. This is what they need if they want to win this set.
Rivera for the serve, received by Shable. Set by Cohen to Rubio. And that Fenton block was not what Rubio was expecting. And Shable desperately tries to get under the ball and just couldn't make it there in time.
Another Fenton captain who blocked that Michael Rorona.
Just great performance out of Fenton in the second set. Set by Rivera, up to Cohen. And Nicholas Rivera with a quick little spike, quick little dump almost. And Fenton was just not expecting that at all from all the big hits that Rivera's been used to making. And we have Cole Rubio up for the serve. That's going to be up by Rona. Bumped over by Dudesk. Received by Jimenez. Cohen sets a Shable. That's going to be a net touch on Shable, unfortunately. It would have been a good kill, but Shable needs to angle himself better to get those points for RB and not give them right back to Fenton. We have number 12, Michael Rona, up for the serve. And it seems the Bulldog rotation happened just a little too soon for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, another costly mistake that RB really shouldn't be making. I mean, these are free points for Fenton, really, and that's why they're down so much in this set right now.
It seems that the easiness of the first set is causing the Bulldogs to make a couple mistakes in the second one. Shable to Cohen to Long, just couldn't get it high enough. Has to barely spike it over. And the last one is setting it up to number 12 Rona, setting it over. That's 12 setting it over again. And thankfully, Rona's serve set was a little too high and a little too not right for Treziak as the set goes over. Bulldog ball, 14-18, Fenton. TJ Austin up for the serve. Set right to Velasquez. Received by Rona. Tried to attempted spike by the Fenton, but the Bulldog blockers are just there every time. And 15-18 Bulldogs, the Bulldogs are gaining back some momentum, gaining back some points, trying to shorten this gap between the scores. Austin up again for the serve. Received by Rivera. Up by Long for the Bulldogs. Set to Cohen, or bump to Cohen. Set to Otragi. And number 12, Michael Rona, the spike was just barely past the RB blockers in Alec Otragi and Liam Cohen.
Rona stepping up here for the Bison, trying to will his team to a second set victory and possibly a comeback.
And this is exactly what Fenton needs from the Bulldogs right now. A lot of mistakes A lot of mistakes to be made. Oh, days.
Cohane just soars that one over the Fenton bench. Rare mistake from him, and like we keep saying, RB calling a timeout here is it's just unforced errors that are costing them here in the second set.
And it's really unfortunate to see gaining back some influence in this game as they're up by 5, 15-20.
Yeah, that added physicality from the Bison has sort of discombobulated RB's offense and their defense here in the second set and caused a lot of these unforced mistakes.
It's sad to see. Varsity team trying to get hype for the varsity team, trying to increase some morale. Yeah, a little chewing out from their coach as she's telling them that they need to get hype and support the varsity team as they enter Number 11, Daniel Garfield up for the serve. A floater right to Rubio. Stop by Cohane to Alec Otragi. Hits it into the net.
Otragi didn't get enough height on that one. And again, I mean, Fenton's just kind of gotten in RB's head. We didn't see that from him in the first.
How high is that net for Otragi? Well, it's too high for him. And the RB crowd messing with Daniel Garfias' head. There's that floater.
Garcia soars it a little bit.
Serves it out of bounds for the RB team. And we have ball for Bulldogs, 16-21's serve for Cohane. Serves it right to Yerion. Over the net, received by Long to Cohane. Back to Long. Serves it over, received by Garfias. Set by Rona. And that's going to be an in for number 1, Michael Dudesque. He barely tucks it away in the corner of the RB court. 16-22 for Fenton. Number 5, Adam Treziak up for the serve. Received by Cole Rubio. Set by Cohane to Long. Serves it into the blockers, who hit it out, down and out of bounds. Point for the Bulldogs. 17-22, Fenton. Jack Shabel up for the serve.
Long kind of reigniting this crowd here.
Shabel up for the serve. That's going to be a service ace as Daniel Garfias just couldn't determine where that ball was going to go. Got too low, or not low enough, really. Too low, not forward enough. As point for the Bulldogs, 18-22. Shabel up for the service again. And that's going to be a service ace for Shabel.
Another ace for Shabel. My goodness.
Garfias was sure that was going to be out, dunking underneath the ball. And Shabel seems to be reigniting that RB morale.
RB looking for a comeback now. Is Fenton trying to slow down some of that momentum. RB bench fired up, RB crowd fired up. They've brought it to within 3 here in the second set.
And within 3 is lethal for the RB team, as we've seen them come back from worse in previous games, although not by us. But as a team in general, they've been up lower and they've come out higher.
Absolutely. I mean, we looked at what they did in the first set. They were able to go on some runs there after it was close early. Really, break away. See if they can't do that here to snag a second set victory and complete the sweep on their senior night.
And the Fenton lineup already ready to get back into the set. Another service by Jack Shabel. Over. Blocked by Alec Otragi and James Long. Back onto the Fenton court. And we
Big block as the RB student section is filed in and now getting very fired up. Game within 2.
Shabel sets it over. Received by Fenton to Dudesque. Yeager receiving that. And that seems to be barely out by Cole Rubio as TJ Austin got underneath that ball beautifully to give the Bulldogs a fighting chance there. Unfortunately, they couldn't finish it off. Dudesk up for the serve for Fenton. Received by Rubio. Set to Hickey. Cohen, apologies. And unfortunately, it's net touch by the Bulldogs. They get 20-24 set point for Fenton.
Fenton needs to end it now. Can't give RB any life here.
Dudesk up for
and they serve it into the net.
Eating it up, the net is. Net of the year, honestly. That was not close, in my opinion. But where I saw it hit it dead center, almost killing his teammate, Rafael Wandakowicz. I hope I'm not butchering that. Oh my days, I'm not butchering that.
What can RB do? They've been given an opening.
Served by Jimenez, received by Fenton. And it seems that Shea will give Fenton RB a fighting chance. Unfortunately, foul by RB. Gives the point to Fenton, 21-25.
Fenton stealing the second set.
Bringing this game into a third set. And that's just not what RB wanted. RB had such a dominant victory in the first set. In the second set, they kept up, they couldn't keep up momentum, down by 4. And it's looking like RB needs some of that initial morale, but also some of that initial technique and that refinement that they were lacking in the second set.
I would call it crumpling in the moment for the Bulldogs. I mean, they were in control. They had all the momentum, and they kind of let their guard down. And Fenton snuck up, and they've taken that second set, and now we have ourselves a very tight match.
But from the RB huddle, all I can see is smiles and good energy as they discuss new ways, or practiced ways, to take back the third set. Not take back, but win that third set, secure their senior night victory.
Mentality is there for the Bulldogs. The question is, can they maintain their composure?
Cole Rubio, a big talking point for the Bulldogs. He had, double check this, Cole Rubio had 75 kills this season. Second for the Bulldogs, second only to Alec Otragi. And right now, it's feel like it's a couple of net touches, a couple out. That cost the Bulldogs that second set. I don't want to pin it on one player. If I had to pin one player for that game, I would say Cole Rubio, unfortunately. And it seems that pressure is getting to him as he's in the zone, from what I can tell. And he's ready to enter this third set, hopefully with a completely different mindset.
Bulldogs trying to kindle their momentum here, as I'd agree with you. Rubio, probably the main factor, not the only factor, but the main factor in RB's second set loss, but he and the rest of the team looks locked in and ready to go here.
All right, now we have the Bulldogs ready to enter this third set. Completely different mental, and just good vibes. Obviously from the bench. TJ Austin up for the serve for the Bulldogs. Hoping to make a big impact here. Received by Velasquez. Received by Austin for the Bulldogs. Cohen sets a long over the net. And it seems that Rivera just couldn't get there in time, receive it in time. This will be an early point for the Bulldogs. I'm sure they're feeling great about that one. Bonarigo's on the side, just hyping it up. TJ Austin going again for another service. TJ Austin setting to Rivera. And second touch bump by Rona, but Alec Otragi saw that coming, and he received it beautifully. Point for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the RB leader in kills, bringing up the momentum and giving RB the early advantage.
And you can see why he's leading in kills. Even on such a powerhouse of a team, he's just reading these plays beautifully, and he's blocking them even better. And that's just, unfortunately, poor timing for those words. As a reset by Cohen, Alec Latragi knocks it out of the court.
Yeah, a bit of an announcer's jinx there. We apologize to the RB fans, but
I'm sure they'll get over it pretty soon. As the JV team is still hype. Michael Rona up for the serve. Serves it right to Shable. Up by Cohen. Over by Latragi.
they give it to Fenton.
Unfortunately, I could have sworn I saw a touch by the Fenton team, but they must not have seen it, or the rest must not have chosen to acknowledge it. Maybe
RB
it's not the right
student
angle, in their
section
opinion.
angry about that call.
Rona to Rubio. Cohen up over the net on second touch. Fortunately, Fenton saw that one coming. Fenton over to Jaeger. Cohen up to Shable. That's going to be an early dump by Shable. Out by Fenton. Seems that number 5 is going to get there in time. My apologies about the confusion. And Cohen up for the serve. 3-2 Bulldogs.
Student section igniting.
JV team is there for their teammates. And Cohen to Rivera. Rivera to Rona.
Long and Ultragi on the block.
And that's just a great block by Ultragi. And again, it shows you why he's leading in kills. Not just the blocks, but the spikes.
Absolutely.
Cohen.
Diving save there.
Shable just getting it up to Long. Gets it back over to Shable. And Fenton makes a mistake as number 11, Daniel Garfias, has it into the net. As we a point for the Bulldogs. 5-2 Bulldogs. Liam Cohen up for the serve.
And Long was there to get the key block. You can just hear the crowd erupt. Cohen taking his time.
He knows he's got it. Cohen, straight to Garfias. Up by number 5. Adam Trezeguet. Unfortunately, it's going to be a foul by the Bulldogs. Point for Fenton, 5-3.
I believe they're going to say that RB stepped out when they were touching the ball.
That was a carry by TJ.
You were right. Yeah, there's a carry.
You see a serve by Garfias. Up by Shable. Set by Cohen, right to Long, and unfortunately, Long should not have touched the ball. It was heading out, but instinct just got the better of him. Another unfortunate
Marcus Durdsky with a great reject in there.
That's going to be Daniel Garfield up for the serve. JVT trying to disorient him. Up by Shable, up by Austin. Serve to Long. He's going to give it right back to Garfias. Up by Rivera. And unfortunately, TJ Austin just couldn't do it right. Maybe re-aggravating an injury, it seems, either physical or mental.
Student section for RB getting fired up as Fenton ties it.
Garfias up for the serve. Up by TJ, over by Cohen to Otragi. That's gonna be up by Rona. And ace. The refs seem to think that there might have been a block.
Refs are looking at it.
They're conversing.
Crowd waits anxiously. RB student section, very confident in a point for the Bulldogs.
And Daniel Garfias and Alec Latragi making sure everything's okay with the refs. James Long hyping up the crowd. Jack Shale getting a little, telling him to get loose as well. He's trying to get loud. He's a big hitter there. James Long, Liam Cohen, Jesus Jimenez. Just name a few. Just the refs really conversing something. I think they might have seen two very different things, and one's definitely trying to convince the other. But I hope that the Bulldogs get to keep their point.
Teams got to maintain their composure in a situation like this. A lot of uncertainty here. People still not deciding. And they give the point to RB.
They're trying to convince, unfortunately, the JV team trying to throw off the other team just caused a lot of anxiety.
I don't know about that. I mean, Fenton's got their student section. RB's got ours. I mean, I feel like our fans should be allowed to get hyped up, but I guess not the opinion of the refs.
Nathan Urian putting that away for Fenton. Serve, Rubio, long, putting it over. Just a poor receive by Fenton, and that's gonna be a point for the Bulldogs.
Beautiful tip over by Long. Fenton just not ready for it.
Garfias' serve was just right to the Bulldogs, and it seemed that they couldn't think of a better solution. Alec will try to get for the serve.
Shit.
It's gonna be received by Rivera. Blocked by Nick Rivera.
Big time block.
And you can see why that 6'5", behemoth of a man is so great at what he does.
Bench rolling around for RB in excitement.
Michael Tragi serve. Right to number 11, Dan Garfias.
Rivera does it again.
And you can just see the momentum being gained back by RB. Student section's hype. The bench is hype. The players are excited. And right now, Bulldogs have the lead 9-6.
Fenton definitely needs to regroup here as RB with all of the momentum. Student section getting fired up. See a lot of uncertainty from the Bison, and they need to maintain their composure and try and work their way back into this final set here. So RB has dominated the last few possessions.
RB seems like they're told not to chant players' names instead of resorting to their numbers to still try to remain hype and keep the players motivated and engaged in the game. Alec will try to get for the serve. Setting it. Unfortunately, close out by Otragi. It's going to be a point for Fenton, 9-7, as Austin goes in for Otragi. And the JV players getting the big heads up nice and high. Pop received by Yeager. Cohen to Rubio. And Rubio's going to tuck it away in the corner for the Bulldogs. Point for RB, 10-7 Bulldogs.
Big spike for Rubio there, and JV student section, I guess, went down to try and throw off Fenton, and I guess it worked.
Must have. James Long up for the serve. See a nice little jump float out of him. Received by Garfias. Yeager up for the set to Rubio. Received by Rivera. Up by Warfield. By Rona, my apologies. And unfortunately, Raphael couldn't put it away. That's going to be a point for the Bulldogs. James Long up again for the serve, 11-7 Bulldogs. Just quick little jump float. Receive well. Rivera up for that receive. Shable up. Oh, like Rubio. Yeager up again, front the center back over. Cohen to Rubio. That's going to be a point for Rubio as he tips it over the net.
Boy, wasn't that beautiful from Rubio. I mean, the finger roll around the Fenton blockers, and RB extends their lead to 5.
Serve for James Long. Unfortunately, barely hits the net of the day, and that's going to be a point for Fenton, 12-8 Bulldogs.
Unforced error from Long there, and gives Fenton a little bit of life here.
Andrew Velasquez up for the service for Fenton. Serves it right to TJ. Austin gets it up for Cohen. He dumps it over center. Dump 13-8 for the Bulldogs. And you can see that calm, cool composure, that auriful glance to the Fenton team as Bulldogs get that lost point that James Long had previously.
Cohen just pure skill.
Houston Menez up for the service for RB. Up by Raphael. Over by Garfias. He's up to Cohen. Cohen to Shable. That's going to be a up by Rivera. Up by Long for the Bulldogs. Cohen upset to Rivera. And unfortunately, I thought that was a touch for Rivera, but it just seems that he barely missed the blockers. That's going to be a point for Fenton. 13-9 RB.
Definitely did look like a touch from the Bison there, but nevertheless, the point is with Fenton.
Rivera up for the serve. Received by Shable. Shot to Cohen, who sends it to Rivera, who hits it on a couple blockers and a couple receivers for Fenton. That's a point for RB. 14-9 Bulldogs as Alcotroggy goes in for Nick Rivera. We see TJ Austin up for the serve.
Rivera with some big points there for RB.
See TJ Austin getting ready for the service, waiting for that whistle. And he's all fired up. He's all ready to go. Let's get a quick little service. Sets it right to Dudesk. Up by Rona. And that's going to be set, or if it's hit over. Received by Long to Cohen. Long sends it back over as a bump. That's going to be a block by Alec Otroggy. Liam Cohen gets another point for the Bulldogs. 15-9 Bulldogs as Thomas Yeager Austin gets another service for the Bulldogs.
Block really puts the Bulldogs in the driver's seat here, 6-point lead.
Austin, right to Velasquez, and right to number 12, Michael Rona, who just couldn't get that receive perfectly. And he hits it out. Timeout. Fenton with a much bigger lead than they previously had.
You can hear the RB student section going crazy.
Still getting loud, still getting hype, and still supporting their varsity team as they're just putting this last set away.
If you're a runner, you know you probably should have been able to save that ball there. And as one of the leaders on this team, he needs to step up big, try and get Fenton back in it, down 7.
It seems that the divide in points between the two teams is really starting to get to the Fenton, as they're just not able to keep up, unfortunately. And the Bison are just waiting. They're ready for Thomas Yeager's serve. He sets it right to Rona. And hit over by Nathan Urian. Unfortunately, Alec Otroggy blocks it out. And we see Michael Rona up again for the service. Jesus Jimenez. Over by Jesus Jimenez. Caught by Rivera. And that's going to be up by Alec Otroggy. Received by Fenton again. Set to the outside. Seems that Jack Shable and Alec Otroggy, unfortunately, blocked it out again. So important for Fenton, 16-11 Bulldogs. And Fenton slowly starting to catch up with that lead based off of Bulldogs' mistakes. That's been run into Solis. Solis to Cohen. Cohen to Long. Fenton receives it. And Rivera giving a nice bump to Rona. Rona getting into the middle.
Yeah, Garfias, you know, as we've said a couple of times here, the star of Fenton, clearly their best player, gets a big point there, leads down to 4. How will the Bulldogs respond?
I think they just need to get Alec Otroggy, like, more of that mental, kind of giving him, maybe giving him a couple spikes, maybe, like, allowing him to do his best on the defense, whether that's better receives by Thomas Yeager Austin or just, just maybe better placement by Alec Otroggy himself. But the 6'1" Daniel Garfias is definitely going to be a problem for the Bulldogs if Fenton continues to keep up this momentum. The Bison's ready to go back on the court. Bulldogs replicating that same energy.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with what you just said there. I think Otroggy is really the key to RB's victory here.
And number 12, Michael Rona, up again for the serve. And he's been getting a lot of good service in, even though Bulldogs have been receiving them nicely. It's as I say that, announcer drink sets in. Michael Rona floats serve out. Point for the Bulldogs, 17-12 Bulldogs, as Liam Cohen ready for that serve. Cohen over, received by Velasquez. And that's gonna be Rona up. Jesus Jimenez up to Long. And Yeager over, a good up. Bonnarillo trying to seem to get the ref's attention on a foul, and it seems that Alec Otroggy caught onto it as well. The ref possible to overturn that call. Yellow card on Fenton. As Daniel Garfias ready to serve it over. That's getting out by Daniel Garfias. Point for the Bulldogs, 18-13.
Yeah, you can see the Fenton captains here. They're big players slipping up a little bit.
Jack Shable ready for the service. See by Fenton. Up. And that's going to be an out by number 6, Nathan Yarian, as Bulldogs get another point, 19-13.
Fenton student section can't believe it. They believe that RB touched it, but the point goes to the Bulldogs.
Jack Shable up for the serve. All right, over. Received by Garfias. That's going to be up. And that's going to be out by Nathan Urias again. The Bison are just convinced that RB touching these balls in some way, shape, or form after that initial spike. But the ref just couldn't disagree more. But they served by Shable, received by Rivera. That's going to be up. That's going to be over by Yarian. That's going to be up by Austin. That's going to be a double touch on accident by Yarian for the Bison. That's going to be a point for the Bulldogs.
You know, I have to say, that's a beautiful tip over the net by Long. RB in full control.
Unexpected. Chip out for the serve. That should be Garfield up. Received by Shable. Cohen over to Rubio. Has to be blocked by the Fenton Bison blockers. That's going to be a hit on the prong.
That's Marcus Durdsky there. He hit around the net there. Gave RB the point.
Shable out, up. Over for the Bulldogs, received by Garfias. And Rubio keeps the Bulldogs alive. Over to Shable, who sets it over the net again. That's Yarion. Unfortunately, hits it on the tip of Alec Otragi's block as he hits it out. TJ Austin just couldn't react fast enough. Point for the Bison, 22-14 Bulldogs.
Fenton needs to capitalize here if they want a chance to come back.
And Treziak service over to Austin. Receives it Cohen to Otragi. And Garfias just couldn't react enough. Some butterfingers as the spike goes through his set. That's a point for the Bulldogs as Nick Rivera goes in to TJ Austin, who's done a beautiful job this set and the entire match, in my opinion. Otragi service right to Rivera. Low receive as Rona just couldn't get under it quickly enough. And Yarion tries his best to get it back over the net, but unfortunately this is not Volleyball Legends. He cannot hit it over the net any which way.
Match point for RB, looking like they did in the first set.
Otragi hitting it. Received by Yarion. Up by Rona. And unfortunately, Cole Rubio, it's a bad block against Dudesk, blocking it out. 24-15 Bulldogs as a potential match point ends up in an unfortunate point. Dudesk up for the service. Out!
Durdsky soars it, and RB's gonna win.
Out by Fenton Bison, 25-15 Bulldogs, and that's gonna be the game.
RB wins it in 3 sets, 2-1. As just a great performance from Cohen and Otragi.
That's gonna be a wonderful win on the senior night of the RB Bulldogs, as MVP of the games, Alec Otragi and Jack Shable truly just celebrating that victory, getting the rest of their team hype. And the junior varsity team and the varsity team bench players and the team managers alike, along with the coaches, is getting hyped, getting ready, getting active.
Yeah, we can see the celebration on the court here.
And that's going to be game for the Bulldogs, 2-1. Have a good night, RB.
Good night, RB.